Hey guys, Toe Gaming here, and welcome to part 3 of my random series. Let's get right into it. I start off with my Hisuian Decidueye, and he starts off with Flying Arceus, and I immediately switch out to Dreadnought to avoid the oncoming Judgment. He then outspeeds me, goes for the Earth Power, I go right for the Shell Smash. I get my boost, and now Dreadnought is ready to cause some damage. I go for the Stone Edge, hit, one-shot Arceus, Turtle, downs the God. He then switches out to Ursaring, who is super tanky with the Evilate, takes about half of my Liquidation, Body Slam, I'm okay. Another Liquidation, take down the bear. He then sends in Hawlucha, who takes a big chunk from my Liquidation, but then retaliates, takes me out to close combat, Dreadnought goes down. I then switch out into my Toxtricity, take a close combat, eat that right up, gets another defense lower. I go for the Shift Gear, getting a little greedy. Goes for the Stone Edge, take another little chunk, but Toxtricity retaliates, Sludge Bomb, downs Hawlucha. He then sends out Overquill, Intimidates, lowers my attack. I go for the Overdrive, do a little over half, activate my Third Spray, but it doesn't matter, he gets me with the Crutch, down. I then send out my Veluza, really thought I was going to have speed, but nope, get one shot with the Crutch. Overquill's a problem. I switch out to Delibird, which I should have done first, go for the Freeze Dry, goes for the Crunch, tanks it, go for another Freeze Dry, downs the Overquill. He then sends out the Colossal. Unfortunately, I don't have any water moves, so I just go for the momentum, get the attack and special attack lower, switch back into my Decidueye, go for the triple arrow. He then goes for the Overheat, which Decidueye is able to take pretty nicely. I go for the Sinstis, get some health back. He goes for the Rapid Spin. I go for another triple arrows, take out the Colossal. He then goes out to his last Pokemon, the Hypno. I Terra Steel to try to avoid the Psychic move, but he goes for the Encore, locking me into Triple Arrow. I then switch out to my last Pokemon, the Hisuian Avalugg. He sets up his screens. I then tank a Psychic and retaliate with an Avalanche, do a nice chunk of damage. He goes for another Psychic, takes out my Avalugg, down to the 1v1. Throw it back out on Decidueye. He Terra's Dark, goes for the Psychic. I'm able to resist it, and then take him out with a U-turn. Good game. At this time, I'd like you guys to please like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel, as it really helps me out. Let's get into game 2. He goes Colossal, I go Titan, I go for the Earthquake, do a nice chunk. He goes for the Spikes. Next turn, switches out to Crabominal, does nothing from the Earthquake. I switch back out to my Sylveon to resist the incoming fighting move. I get my lefties, and then he switches out into his Iron Bundle. I go for the Hyper Voice, do a huge chunk of damage, get some more lefties. Terra Steel, predicting an ice move, but he goes for the Hydro Pump, does a nice chunk. I go for the Hyper Voice, take out Iron Bundles. He then sends out the Sandcastle. I go for a Wish. He then takes me out with the Earth Power. Down goes my Sylveon. I then throw out my Titan, take some damage from the Spikes. He switches out the castle, goes into Arcanine, intimidates me. No matter, I go for the Belly Drum, max out my attack, eat my berry. Now we're ready for damage, even get my wish coming true. Go for the Earthquake, one-shot Arcanine. He sends out Serena. Terra's fighting. I go for the Ice Shard. Gets denied by Queen Majesty. I get killed by a high jump kick. I then throw out my Indeedee, set up the Psychic Terrain. Go for the Psyshock, one-shot Serena. He throws out Colossal. Go for another Psyshock, down the Colossal. Indeedee's doing some work right now. He throws out Crabominal. Go for another Psyshock. That's a third KO for Indeedee. Let's go. He then switches out to Palossand, go for another Psyshock, does about half. He goes for the Shadow Ball, which I'm immune to because I'm a normal type. He does not like that move, he then forfeits. Good game. Alrighty, game 3. He starts off with Avalugg, I start out with the Oranguru. He then immediately switches out into his Tinkatonk. I go for the Nasty Plot. He hits me with the T-Wave, paralyzes me, I of course get the full para. He goes for the Knockoff, I lose my leftovers. Go for the Focus Blast, whiff it. He then goes for the Gigaton Hammer, hits me so hard I'm still fully paralyzed, goes for a knockoff, takes out my Oranguru. I then send in my Walking Wake, go right for the Flamethrower, does a nice chunk of damage. He goes for the T-Wave, thankfully it misses. He gets his lefties. I guess I have to go for another Flamethrower, take out the Tinkatonk. He then switches out to his Volcarona. I Terra Fire, go for the Flamethrower, do a nice chunk to Volcarona. He goes for the Quiver Dance. Goes for the Bug Buzz, which I resist due to my fire typing now. Go for another Flamethrower, take him out. He then sends in his Avalugg. Immediately goes for the Terra Fighting. I go for the Flamethrower, still do a nice chunk of damage. He goes for the Curse, gets his boost. I go for another Flamethrower, take out the Avalugg. He then sends in his Iron Hands. I go for another Flamethrower. He takes it pretty nicely. Goes for a Thunder Punch, does a nice chunk to me. Go for another Flamethrower. He goes for the Close Combat, then takes out my Walking Wake. I then send in my Phalanx. Go for the No Retreat, get my boost. No one can go anywhere now. He goes for the Close Combat. I tank that up. Now with no defenses, go for the Poison Jab, take out Iron Hands. He then sends out his Gumshoes, go for a Close Combat, take out the Gumshoes. Sends out his Earthworm, same deal, Close Combat, Phalanx, cleans up everything. Good game. Hey guys, if you made it this far, thanks for watching, and let me know in the comments down below, and stay tuned for more material.